What's the purpose of a helmet? Let's start there.
To protect your noggin.
To protect what about your noggin?
So that it doesn't
Doesn't protect your eyes, doesn't protect your nose.
your brain.
Protects your brain, right?
Your brain.
Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast. I am Spencer Cartier.
And I am Punxsutawney Phil.
Oh, that son of a gun, he saw his shadow, didn't he? No, he didn't see a shadow. He didn't see a shadow.
He did. He saw it.
He did not.
He did.
He did not.
He did.
He did.
I did, I should say.
You saw your shadow?
Yeah, I'm Punxsutawney Phil. But I'm just realizing I was Punxsutawney Phil last year.
Well, it seems pretty fitting for Groundhog Day.
All right.
And while you talk about Punxsutawney Phil, I'm going to
Punxsutawney
fact check
Phil
you.
is a live groundhog, which is a big kind of beaver-like animal, but he has like a kind of a flattish body, like a seal, but with fur and whiskers.
Yes. Wait, what? Are you describing a groundhog? So he did see a shadow.
Yeah.
I did fact check you on that. Why I'm always confused about it.
Because that means the sun's out, so yeah.
So when he sees a shadow, it means 6 more weeks of winter.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't see a shadow, it means spring's a coming.
Right.
But if he sees a shadow, the sun's out. And then the other thing, I feel like the son of a gun always sees a shadow.
But also...
When was the last time he didn't see a shadow? 1994?
But also, spring, March 21st,
Yeah.
isn't it basically in 6 weeks? 5 weeks?
The standard is there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. But sometimes if we get lucky, he won't see a shadow.
So it'll be like early March and we're feeling good.
Yeah. Yeah, but
So Punxsutawney Phil is named because he's from...
time out. This here is Frank.
Frank, I'm so sorry. He blended in with you. I thought you were just... I thought I had double vision.
Yeah, we're at 50 Shades of Green over here.
I thought I had double vision. Punxsutawney is a place in Pennsylvania. Tourist attraction. They didn't do it last year.
COVID.
Because of COVID. And so they lost their tourist dollars. So we live in Pennsylvania.
We do.
And you think, let's just go.
Probably pretty far away, isn't it?
It is as if we were to drive to Richmond, Virginia.
How many hours?
4 and a half, more than 4.5.
Yeah, it's too far.
So, but isn't that crazy? Because I think, like, who cares? That doesn't sound too bad, Pennsylvania. But literally, for us to drive from where we live, you would pass through Delaware, Maryland, DC. Once you're in DC, you still have 2 more hours to get to Richmond, Virginia.
Well, yeah, that's the crazy thing about America. It's just so darn big.
Yeah.
6 hours for us will get us to the other side of Pennsylvania. From Philadelphia to Pittsburgh, 6 hours.
Right.
In England, you can go to the other side of the country.
Right.
In that same time.
So I guess we won't be going. And it's always cold and snowy, so it's also bad. I don't even know if they have an airport.
You'd fly to Punxsutawney?
Well, if it's too snowy to drive.
I don't know. I don't think it's worth going to see a groundhog, see his shadow, and then ruin the rest of the day for me.
Also, I don't know what they're doing. They said he just comes out. Does he? Or are they luring him out? I don't know what's happening.
They have him and they kind of hold him.
No, they lure him out of his tree first.
His tree?
Yeah.
He's in a box.
He's in his burrow.
No.
It
I
is.
thought he was like in captivity.
We're going to have to go.
No thanks.
Well,
count me out.
Groundhog Day is the movie with Bill Murray.
It is.
And I guess they flew in.
I don't know.
Let's rewatch it. Today is 2/2/2/2/2.
Oh, you love twos. Wait, what is it?
It's 2/2/2/2.
Oh, wait.
It's not that day. That's going to be 2/2/2/2. Yeah.
The 22nd, because that's going to be on a Tuesday. And it's going to be Tuesday.
All the twos.
It's going to be the greatest Tuesday of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. That's in 20 days?
Yeah.
Oh, man. What are we doing for it?
I don't know. Stuff with twos, I guess.
Stuff with twos. Cool.
But today's just 2/2/2/2.
2/2/2. 0/2. 0/2.
So finally, if we were
2,
to be with the British, neither one of us would be considered wrong than the other, because month, day, month.
I mean, yeah, we've talked about it before in this podcast. The European system, they're right with a lot of things, and America really switched up on us. The idea that we go month, day, year makes no sense.
Yeah.
It should be smallest to biggest.
Right.
What day is it? It's the second day of the month. Well, what month is
Very
it?
second.
It's the second month.
Yeah.
Well, what year is it? It's a 22. Instead, we're like, well, what month is it? Like, why is that most important?
I don't know. Because, old America's not very old, but if you think about the Declaration of Independence, they were putting day first because it was the 4th of July.
Okay.
So we still say 4th of July, but only for that because it's so old-timey.
July 4th, yeah.
But we would say July 3rd and July 5th, but the 4th of July so today should be the 2nd of February, but we say February 2nd.
That we do. Cinco de Mayo is not Mayo y Cinco.
Yeah.
How about that? How about that?
Yeah, okay.
But it's Wednesday, guys. It's a good day. So I want to talk about something before we even talk about our little games we play on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So I was on TikTok and I was seeing there's like people do lives, mm-hmm. and I've been seeing a lot more religious ones. Usually it's these like prove me wrong, and so it's like a lot of people that don't believe in religion, and more than that have gotten turned away from religion. Mm-hmm. And why I want to talk about this is because on our one podcast that was about the keys to heaven, what does it take to get to heaven? I said it's all about love. I said God is love, and then whilst I was saying that, I was retracting. I'm like, I sound like a broken record over here. I'm always saying it's all about love. The Bible is about love. God is love. It's like Spencer. Talk about something new. But I found it very interesting. So in said thing, this guy was a deconstructionalist. He said, I was religious for a long time and now I see clearly. The church did nothing for me. Mm-hmm. It's all a bunch of hoopla. Yeah. It's fugazi. It's so whizzy. It's so wazzy. It's a fairy dust. And everyone was arguing with him and saying, well, in Matthew 4, it says that. And he's like, you can't use the Bible.
Matthew-phoria.
You can't use the Bible to defend your points. And I'm like, yeah, he's right. Well, on an argument standpoint, mm-hmm. there's nothing you can argue to this man that will make you well, if Jesus isn't real, then how was he resurrected? And it's like, all he'll say is, once again, you're using information out of the Bible. Like, you can't prove to someone that God exists. So that's why we have faith. We don't have concrete knowledge, then it would defeat the purpose of faith. But it's not what I'm saying. And so instead of everyone, there's probably 1,000 people in this chat, and they were all arguing with him. And he was just clapping right back. And I asked one simple question. And then I signed off. I said, do you believe in love? And he said, and he answered, no big deal. And he looked at it and this went, of course I believe in love. And that's all I needed to know. It's like, and so for me, it's like, that gets, like, and to me, once again, I'm like, okay, so I you believe in what I believe in as God. Right. And it's like, so what am I going to argue other things for? It's like, I think that's a starting place. Right. And to try to argue with someone over other things, it's like, you're not going to get anywhere, especially if they don't want to hear it. Let those with ears hear. And so that's why I keep coming back to this. It's all about love thing. Because it's like, it's very easy to find someone who says, I don't believe in God. And then you ask them, do you believe in love? And it's, of course I believe in love. How could I not? Yeah. And then in my head, I'm like, okay, so there is something, it's like you're not closed off to God's grace and mercy. And therefore, I'm not going to condemn you for your beliefs. Do I think earthly systems of churches and stuff, whatever his situation was, pulled him away from it? Yes. And that's sad because now he associates God with a church.
Yeah, right. But it doesn't make it true.
And he's not associating God with love. Right. Which I think is the message. And so that's my little spiel.
And as our Instagram story of yesterday could still be up. It's a quote from Albert Einstein, and it's a picture of our tree, and it says that all religion, arts, and sciences are the religion, arts, and sciences are all branches of the same tree. Yeah,
and so that's my little spiel, and it's just to say that I'm not going to stop talking about love ever.
Love and let love.
Live and let live.
Love and let love.
Love and let love. So Yeah, I mean, so yeah, that's all I had to say about that. But moving on, today is Wednesday. Is there a holidays today besides Punxsutawney Phil?
That's a big one.
That is a big one.
I do not know.
Nah, who cares?
I wore a bright hat to try to get people
Liven up the mood.
People get down. They get the seasonal effectiveness disorder.
Yeah. You ever see those light boxes?
Yeah.
You think they work?
I don't know. I was gonna say maybe like as a
placebo,
but then I thought no, maybe as real. When I'm driving, and the sun starts shining, I do try to put my face in the sun, and I always think like the head is a good place for the sun to shine on. Like I know like you can put vitamin D or the energy of the sun, but I always think like if it goes in my eyes or in my brain, I'm not kidding.
So you just stare at the sun?
That it's better.
Yeah. That's probably why you have such bad vision.
Maybe.
You're staring at the sun.
Maybe. There's that that surfer girl in Hawaii. I can't remember her name. Sorry, girl. But she had brown eyes and they turned green from staring in the sun all the time. And no, they're like damaged now. She can see and everything, but like her doctor told her like, you got to stop. You got to
start wearing sunglasses while you're surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the sunlight, it's good.
Sunlight, good. Groundhog, bad.
Well, guys, it is Wednesday, and so without further ado, let's get into what we do every week, which is One Word Wednesday. One Word Wednesday is a special day, the most special day of the week. And what we do is we pick a word out of the Webster's dictionary, which I found out is a name and not just a web version of the dictionary, which was news to me.
Okay.
But we pick a word and we talk about it. We try to use it as symbolism, and try to get some deeper meaning. Why not? It's fun. We like it. And the more you use this as a practice, right? A practice of looking, it's like, gratitude. You just like anytime you're learning about how to work on your gratitude, it's the most minuscule things to be grateful for.
Yes.
Oh, I'm grateful that, I woke up this morning. I'm grateful that I'm breathing. I'm grateful for this oatmeal. I'm grateful that, I have a car. I have both my hands. And then you live, it's a better day. This helps you work on realizing that there's symbolism in everything to make it a little more spiritual. Right.
I'm thinking now. Okay, so I repeated Punxsutawney Phil, and now I'm thinking, am I going to repeat this One Word Wednesday that I picked, which is helmet? It's helmet.
No, we never did helmet.
We did do the armor of God.
We did armor of God.
Okay, so it is a specific part of the armor of God is the helmet. But before we jump into that, the helmets of the Super Bowl will be
the Bengals.
The Cincinnati Bengals, which are from Ohio, which is our neighbor state.
Who they? And who they think gonna beat them Bengals?
And
the LA Rams.
The LA Rams.
The La Rams.
From California, which is not our neighboring state.
It is not.
Do you know what their helmets look like?
Yeah, they have horns.
I meant both.
The Bengals are tiger stripes.
Bengal tiger.
And then the LA Rams, it's blue helmets with yellow horns.
Do you know about the alternate helmet rule in the NFL?
It just came out, right?
Yeah.
It's for next season.
Right. The season. So we're ending the 2021 season. Yeah. It'll start for the 2022 seasons. I don't know anything about it, but all I looked, it was like, oh, thank God there's and then it talked about like, okay, you can have two helmets, but you have to wear it with a certain shirt. And the Bengals are happy because they're like, now we can use our white and black helmet as opposed to their orange and black helmet. And I was like, I'll ask Spencer.
Yeah. So right now in the NFL, you have alternate jerseys. So like the jerseys can change colors. You can have 3 different colors, but the helmets stay the same.
Okay.
And it's a lot more. It holds you to not being able to change your uniforms that much because the helmets are usually a strong color.
Oh, right.
And so like if the Bengals are doing a whiteout game, right, they have the bright orange helmet, and so it's like the white top and the white bottom, and then big old orange helmet. So it's cool. It opens up a lot of other like cool color schemes, maybe even for like the Eagles.
Okay.
It would give the ability to go for like the Kelly green uniforms.
Okay.
Because before, if they were like, oh, we want to do a throwback Kelly green uniforms, then they have the dark green helmets, and so it clashes.
Got you.
So I like it. I mean, I think they should. They started doing it more. They have like the color rush games where you can make fun uniforms, and I'm like, yeah, the NFL's about entertainment, and so I like that they're leaning into what the crowd wants. You know what I mean? I think they should do it more. Like I think the Sixers should be able to wear throwback uniforms, and
right.
Eagles wearing the like I said, the Kelly green outfits. I think it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't let them up before.
You know,
has nothing to do with safety.
Trying to be like streamlined. Let's not get too crazy. There was a while in the NFL, in the NBA, where you had to wear your shoes had to match the outfits, and it was like limiting. And now it's like you can wear your fun, cool shoes.
I remember hockey without helmets.
Yeah, and what is it called?
I remember motorcycles without helmets.
Well,
which they're now back again, right?
Yeah.
No, there was a time when it was like you had to wear a helmet, and they were so angry.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there was that like time period in hockey where it was a grandfathered rule.
Okay,
so
yeah,
all the older guys were still not wearing, or it was like the visors, especially I think. And then all the young guys had to.
Helmets. Have you ever seen a baby in a helmet?
Yeah, I think usually they have problems.
Yeah, well, that's what I assumed, and so I would see. You know whose baby used to wear a helmet? Nick Foles. Nick Foles, who just congratulated Tom Brady on his retirement. What was that about?
Well, Tom Brady didn't shake Nick Foles' hand when he bust his butt in the Super Bowl. So
Nick Foles is a stand-up guy.
Yeah. Take the high road. See ya, Brady.
Nick Foles' son, who's a baby. I saw him in helmet, and I said, "Oh no, the baby's in a helmet." But then, social media, everyone shares the pictures, and I just saw more and more babies wearing helmets, and I thought, why so many babies wear helmets? It's not really that there's anything wrong with you. And in the old days,
you would just drop a baby and have a dent in his head.
You never dropped them. It's when you're born.
You got a soft head.
Yeah, and you would get a flat spot.
Yeah.
And like we would be told as mothers, like, don't let him lay too much on his back because
we'll get a flat head.
Flat head, and then things usually work themselves out. And then if they don't, you have hair and you don't notice. And heads were heads. And there was actually even read your palm.
Yeah.
Read your whatever. They would read your head shape.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But
that was back in
yeah, that wasn't my time.
No, I'm saying even in like the was it the Holocaust?
Oh.
You know how the Nazis had all kinds of crazy things?
Like crazy theories.
Okay. One of them was the size, like if they were trying to find people hiding and they were trying to track down Jewish people, they'd say their head shape.
Yeah.
But they were a bunch of quacks.
The Holocaust. Yes. So yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, it was yesterday. I didn't even know the show was still on. The View.
Oh, Whoopi Goldberg?
Whoopi Goldberg said that the Jews are a religion, not a race. Well, the Jewish people, very, very angry, as other people who weren't even Jewish. People got very angry that she said it. They got very angry that the rest of the people on her panel did not correct her. And they were highly offended because they said, we are a race. We're a race that goes back to the beginning of time. Jews are a religion, but we're a culture. We're a race. We're this or that. And so they were very mad. And they were also mad that that they were not calling out Hitler for it being a racial crime.
Oh.
So they're mad at her right now, and they're trying to use her misspeech to educate the rest of the world. You're frowning and frowning.
I'm just trying to think. I mean,
okay.
I hear what they're saying, but I also hear what I don't know if she should be drugging them. Like, education is good, but I mean, they're both right, aren't they? Like, in a way, they're both right. And it's totally in the right for...
I didn't see what she said, so that would have helped me.
Well, it's totally in the right for Jewish people to come out, because I know they're big on the race, and it's about bloodline, right? Like, that more than religion.
Right.
But then again, it is also a religion. Like, there's a lot of hoops I'd have to jump through, but I could become Jewish, and that doesn't make me part of the race. It makes me part of the religion.
Right.
And so I think under one name are two things going on.
Right.
It's like they are a race, like that goes back like genealogically, but in that race, they all share a religion, right? And so they're both right. And then, I mean, with the Hitler thing of, it was, once again, it was both, right? Like, it was the race and the religion, sort of how, you get mad at now of when you see people coming at Muslims from the Middle East, and they're calling them like terrorists and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, you are getting mad at the religion, but you're also, if like having, I'm gonna say, like, if it was switched, it would be, and there was some, Hitler, instead of the Jewish people had a problem with Muslims, it would be, hey, he came at a whole race of people. Any Middle Eastern he saw, it was
right
lumping together. But it's also like, so it's both. And so then someone would be like, if Whoopi Goldberg said, well, Muslim isn't a race, it's religion. All the people who were persecuted for it, it'd be like,
yeah,
it's a whole race was affected by it.
I would say that the problem with only calling it a religion is that if it was a religion that he opposed, or whoever opposed, you could convert the people.
Yeah.
So if, you're all Jewish, I want to convert you all. Was he a Christian?
Yeah, he was Protestant.
He was Protestant.
No, sorry, he was atheist.
Atheist.
Yeah.
So right. If they were all Jewish and he wanted to make them stop being Jewish, you can convert people.
Well, yeah.
But you can never convert a race. You can't make a black person a white person.
Yeah, and that would go to what I was just saying about them being quacks trying to measure the head shape. That has nothing to do with
right.
your creed or religion.
Right.
You're saying this is a type of person.
And there's nothing you can do. Yeah.
And so they were persecuted for being a type of person,
right.
not for what they, who they are praying to.
Right.
So, all right, I'm back on.
You're back.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like,
yeah.
I totally am here for the education that they're saying, but I don't know. You read a headline. I don't know if Whoopi Goldberg should be drugged through the mud for saying it, but she should be she can learn from it.
I don't know. So the helmets are just these soft little helmets they wear for a couple months, and it's to shape the baby's head. So if you see a baby with a helmet, probably nothing neurologically wrong with the baby. They're just trying to make the optimal, before the plates close, that they have a perfectly shaped head. February started Black History Month.
Yes.
And it also, yesterday was Happy Lunar New Year of the Tiger.
The Bengal tiger.
These are the years, and if you were born in one of these years, happy year for you.
Happy year for you. So are we going to talk about helmets at all?
I'm a dog.
I'm a rat.
You're a rat. I don't really have much. I have some Bible verses about helmets. Of course, some of them have to do with real helmets going into the army, whatever. But the helmet of salvation is mentioned 3 times in 3 different places. So
put on the righteousness. So this is talking about the armor of God.
Yeah.
And then it's the helmet in that is the helmet of salvation.
Helmet of salvation.
Helmet of salvation on his head. He puts his garments on, blah, blah, blah. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of spirit. But since we belong to the day, let us be sober, putting on faith and love as a breastplate, and the hope of salvation as a helmet.
Right. And I think does the first one say that the helmet of salvation is the word of God? I think I remember that.
Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of spirit, which is the word of God.
Oh, so that would be the sword of spirit.
Yeah.
What do I know? All I know is that maybe you just protect your thoughts and...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. I mean, what's a helmet? What's the purpose of a helmet? Let's start there.
To protect your noggin.
To protect, what about your noggin?
So that it doesn't...
Doesn't protect your eyes, doesn't protect your nose.
Your brain.
protects your brain, right?
Brain,
like that's why motorcyclers wear helmets. It's you don't want to crack your head, because we talked about why do we get worried seeing a kid? We think he has neurological issues.
Right.
Because it's to protect your brain. And so if we're talking about a spiritual helmet, we're talking about that spiritually protecting your brain. And I think this last thing says, and the hope of salvation. And so that's what does salvation mean? Like to be saved, right?
Right.
And it's like to go to heaven, like
continued life after this one.
Yeah. And so it's the hope of salvation. It's, I think, to not let, bad thoughts like get in the way of your faith, right? Because that's what does it say? That's what you're protecting, like the hope of salvation. Nothing will get into my head that will get in the way of my hope for salvation. My looking on to what's important.
Right.
My knowing what's ahead, and because when you don't put that helmet of salvation on, you're then just a victim to an earthly world where you're not looking after.
So you're saying that you're going to be saved, but unless you take steps to protect your thoughts, you could be worried about being saved the whole entire time you're living here.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's more than like, oh, if your bad thoughts are going to make you go to hell. Right. It's like, then that's why I think it's helmet of salvation sounds like you better keep it on or you need to be saved. But in Thessalonians in Thessalonians 5:8, it's the hope of salvation of the helmet. And I like that, the hope of salvation. It's your belief, your faith of salvation. And that's what the helmet's protecting. It's like, because I think it's saying, get rid of the what ifs. Like what if there's not a God? Maybe like we see it like on TikTok when this guy had a religion, and he started seeing the church do all these wrong things, and it's like, well, no, it doesn't make sense. He was talking about deconstructionalists, and he was explaining it like he lived in a house with a gate all around it, and the idea is you take down the gate and you see, wow, this wasn't just it. But it's that I think when you're letting like that, what if? Well, that doesn't make sense.
You're tormenting yourself.
You're tormenting yourself, and you lose that hope of salvation.
That's a good way to put it. Because if you don't have to wear a helmet when you play football or ride a motorcycle or play hockey.
You don't.
But you could hurt yourself unnecessarily.
Yeah.
So same thing spiritually.
Well, because that's the thing, right? It's like when you see like a sword. What is the sword? The sword of spirit. That fighting spirit.
Right.
That's an attack. You put on a helmet to protect yourself, right? Like, and it's like, it's not to fight. It's not an action. It's like a seatbelt. Like, you use a seatbelt 9% of the time and it doesn't do anything. It's it's just there to block you being hurt. Mm-hmm. A helmet's there to, if something comes up, you're protected. And the helmet, the hope of this spiritual helmet that we're talking about is when someone comes and challenges your faith,
right?
And says, "Oh, you believe in God? Well."
Yeah, there's thoughts getting into your head, and like this man you talked about, and then you start to have doubts, and you start to.
And if you put that helmet on every morning, it's
helmet on.
You're defended from the thoughts that will attack your thoughts. It's not. And I think it's one of the most important things. Like when we talk about spirituality, we always say our body is temporary.
Yeah.
But it's our thoughts that carry us through in both good and bad. And we said it before, we were like, no one can control your mind.
Right.
And so that's the one thing you have without your body. But if people get into your head and you start over double thinking and being like, oh, I don't know, you start getting afraid, something bad happens and you're like, how could this happen?
Yeah.
And you lose that long-term sight. And helmet of salvation.
Wear your helmets. They still ask in when you go for your physical when you're little, they're like, if you're skateboarding, wear your helmet. If you're riding a bike, they still tell you to do that.
Really?
I went to a physical and she's like, if you ride a bike, wear a helmet. I'm like, okay.
Thanks.
If I ride a bike, I will do that.
All right, guys. Well, that is Walk Through Wednesday. That is One Word Wednesday, guys. Go and put your helmets of salvation on. If you think helmets mean something different biblically, or spiritually, let us know. Maybe you're like, I don't know. If I had another thought, I would have said it already. But we'll be back tomorrow for Walkthrough Thursday. Until then, helmets on if you ride a bike, and spiritual helmets on if you're waking up and saying, I don't want anyone to get into my head. Peace.